students, good morning and welcome back. So today we'll continue with the practical problems on incomplete records. So till now we solved the small problems, that is 6 marks problem, relating to the incomplete records, that is preparation of bills, receivable account, as well as preparation of debtors account, creditors account, and so on. Correct? So today we'll move on with the 24 marks problem, where you have to prepare the ledger account at the beginning. Later you have to continue with the trading, profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. Okay, so this is the full-fledged problem. In the sense, you have to prepare some of the ledger accounts, that the ledger accounts you have to prepare on the basis of question. Okay, you have to see the question, on the basis of that you have to prepare ledger account. It is not that you have to prepare it is not that you have to prepare only this much of ledger account. Okay. Sometimes when you see the problem, you feel that you have to prepare a debtors account, creditors account. Sometimes you have to prepare bills payable, receivable. It is not fixed that you have to prepare these ledger accounts. It is depending upon the problem. You have to see whether I have to prepare that ledger account or not. Okay, that's the first thing. So then you have to go with the trading account, profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. Okay, so that is in the sequential order. So today's problem, okay, you just copy down today's problem. Just take down this. Mr. Prajwal kept his books under single entry system. Kept his books under single entry system. From the following particulars obtained. From the following particulars obtained from his books. Obtained from his books. Prepare trading and profit and loss account. Trading and profit and loss account for the year ending 31st March 2021, and a balance sheet as on that date. So 4 columns, information under 4 columns. First column particulars and 3 amount column. In that, the third and fourth column you have to write the date, that is opening date as well as closing date. 1/4/2020, 31/3/2021. So take down creditors 12,000, closing date nil. Furniture 8,000 each. Debtors opening balance nil, last column 55,000. Stock 12,000, 10,500. Cash 24,000, and the last column nil. So then you record other particulars. Okay, take it fast. So copy it on. Okay, so we will start with the solution. Okay, so they have given some of the informations regarding asset as well as the expenses and the income. That is okay. Now, by just observing the information they provided, you have to first decide which ledger account I have to prepare. Now, so you just to recall your first semester where um we prepare the opening balance sheet. So we prepare the opening balance sheet to find out the capital. In case of non-profit organization, to find out the capital fund. Similarly, in this problem, see that they have not given the capital balance, but you know that the when you prepare the balance sheet, the first item you record is a capital. So you need to know what is the capital balance, but they have not given the capital item, capital amount. So first thing you have to calculate what is the opening capital. To calculate the opening capital, you have to prepare opening balance sheet. Correct. To calculate the opening capital, you have to prepare opening balance sheet. Opening balance sheet means those items we have to record in the balance sheet with the opening balance figure. Now you see the first information. So they are given some of the asset like creditors, furniture, debtors, stock and cash. Same thing, they have given the opening and closing balance, but some of the items they have given the opening and they have not given the closing. And one item, that is debtor, they have not given the opening but they have given the closing. Now creditors 12,000 opening balance but they didn't give the closing balance, means you have to prepare the ledger account for creditors to find out the closing balance. Okay, not to find out credit purchase but to find out the closing balance. Furniture opening and closing is given, so we need not prepare any ledger account for furniture. But debtor, the opening balance is not given but the closing balance is given, so you have to prepare the debtor account to find out the opening balance. And you may think that why we need the opening balance. Listen, remember one thing, whenever you are going to prepare the opening balance sheet, means you need to know what is the opening balance of asset. If they are not given the opening balance but they given the closing balance, means you have to find the opening balance. So okay, this is what the rule. If you are not preparing opening balance sheet, then you need not prepare the ledger account to ascertain the opening balance. So if you are preparing opening balance sheet, if you are ascertaining opening capital, then you need to know what is opening balance. So that is why you have to prepare the ledger account if the opening balance is not given. So debtors account, we are preparing ledger account because we have to find what is the opening capital. So the ledger account of debtor is to be prepared and the balancing figure will be the opening debtor value. Stock. So the opening and closing is given. So we need not prepare the ledger account for stock. Cash, we know the opening balance but we don't know the closing balance, so we have to prepare the ledger account. Okay, so this way you have to decide which ledger account I have to open first, which ledger account I have to open. So creditors, debtors and cash, these are the three ledger account you have to open, you have to prepare. Then you have to start with the opening balance sheet. Opening balance sheet, okay, it is called as the statement of affairs as on 1/4. Okay, we not call it as a balance sheet because this is an incomplete records, we cannot prepare the balance sheet, so we are just naming it as a statement of affairs. Then we have given the other particulars. Now we'll go with the other particulars and we will just pass the journal entry. Okay, we'll just pass the journal entry. Okay, because we have to prepare the ledger account, so we need to know the journal entry. So take your pencil and just you write the journal entries. Okay, now other particulars, receipt from debtors. Now what is the journal entry? Receipt means you are receiving the cash from debtor, so cash comes in, debtor is the giver, so the journal entry will be cash account debit to debtors account. The journal entry will be cash account debit to debtors account. Cash account debit to debtors account. Paid to creditors means you are paying the cash. So cash goes out, creditor is the receiver. So cash account debit to creditors account. So sorry, creditors account debit to cash account because you are paying the cash. Creditors account debit to cash account. Next, total purchase. So, total purchase means it is the sum of cash purchase and cash credit purchase. Now, see there within the bracket they have given including cash sale of 38,000. So, total sale means it is the sum of cash sale and credit sale. So, total sale is 2,25,000. So, my total sale value is 2,25,000. In this 2,25,000, this 3,38,000, sorry, 38,000 is the cash sale. So what is total sale means it is the sum of cash sale and credit sale. Out of 2,25,000, if 38,000 is the cash sale, so remaining 97,000, 1,97,000 I think. No, 1,87,000. So remaining 1,87,000 will be the credit sale. I repeat, my my total sale will be 2,25,000. My total sale is 2,25,000. Out of which 38,000 is the cash sale. So remaining 1,87,000. That is 2,25,000 minus 38,000. That will be my credit sale. So cash sale 38,000, credit sale 1,87,000. Now you have to pass journal entry for cash sale and credit sale. First, we'll pass the journal entry for cash sale. When you sell the goods for cash, you receive the money. Correct? ನೀವು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ಗೆ ನೀವು ಗೂಡ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅನ್ನು ರಿಸೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಡೆಬಿಟ್ ಟು sales account. So right, cash account debit to sales account. What about credit sale? You just recall the illustration number 1, illustration number 2, 3. We prepared a debtors account. The balancing figure, if it is debit side, then that is a credit sale. Then what is the journal entry? The journal entry will be debtors account debit to credit sale account. You just turn your page and you see the ledger accounts of debtors. The balancing figure on the debit side means to credit sale, correct? Means the debtor will be buy, that is debit. So debtors account debit to credit sale. Okay, next, total purchases. Again, total purchase means it is the sum of credit purchase and cash purchase. Now my total purchase is my total purchase is 1,20,000. 1,20,000 my total purchase, out of which cash purchase is 23,000. So 97,000 is the credit purchase. That is the remaining figure. 1,20,000 minus 23,000, it comes to 97,000. So 97,000 is the credit purchase. 23,000 is the cash purchase. Now you have to pass journal entry for both. Now journal entry for cash purchase. When you purchase the purchase the goods on cash basis, you will make the payment. Correct? You have to make the payment. New one the goods and purchase ಮಾಡುವಾಗ new pay ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So cash goes out. So the journal entry will be purchase account debit to cash account. So take down purchase account debit to cash account. The next one, that is for credit purchase. So the journal entry will be credit purchase account debit to creditors account. Credit purchase account debit to creditors account. You just see the creditors account. Just previous class we solved creditors account also. So in that we write the balancing figure on the credit side as a credit purchase. So the journal entry will be credit purchase account debit to creditors account. Next, sales return. So it is a repeated point. Sales return debit to the credit side of the debtors account. So the journal entry will be sales return account debit to debtors account. Sales return account debit to Sales return account debit to debtors account. Purchase return, it is opposite. In creditors account, you have to write on the debit side. So creditors account debit to purchase return. Creditors account debit to purchase return. Drawings. So here they have not mentioned what you withdrawn, whether the goods, whether the asset, or whether the cash. Correct? They just give drawings. So in such type of cases, you assume it as cash withdrawn. Okay? If they don't mention what you withdrawn, then you assume it as a cash withdrawn. So drawings means cash goes out because he is taking the cash from the company. So cash goes out means credit in the form of drawings. So the journal entry will be drawings account debit to cash account. Drawings account debit to cash account because he is withdrawing the cash. Bad debts again debit, credit to the credited side. Credit side. We write on the credit side of the debtors account. So the journal entry will be bad debts account debit to debtors account. Bad debts account debit to debtors account. These are the repeated points. So I am going very fast on it. Bad debts account debit to debtors account. Discount allowed and discount received. Now who will allow the discount? The discount will be allowed by the me to the debtor. I will allow the discount on debtor because the debtor has to pay the money, so I will allow the discount on that. Okay, for example, the debtor has to pay 1 lakh. So with the mutual consent, mutual understanding, I tell him just to pay 99,000 and 1,000 is the discount. Okay, so discount allowed is done by me on debtor. So the journal entry will be discount allowed account debit to debtor's account. Discount allowed account debit to debtor's account. So discount received means you are going to receive the discount. From whom you are going to receive the discount? From creditors. So the journal entry will be creditors account debit to discount received. Creditors account debit to discount received. Creditors account debit to discount received. Next one. So next we have expenses like rent, wages, trade expense, salary, office expense. Okay. Don't take outstanding and prepaid. It is not for the current year. So we are not taking that prepaid for the current year. Outstanding means you are not at receive, you are not at paid. Cash transaction agilla outstanding. So we just take rent, wages, trade expense and salary, office expense, everything. This all the 5 items are expenses. So whenever you pay the expenses, cash goes out. Correct? Cash goes out. So what is the journal entry? Expense should be debited, cash to be credited. So in the case of rent, it is rent account debit to cash, wages account debit to cash, trade expenses debit to cash, salary expenses debit to cash, office expenses debit to cash. Okay. In general, if any expenses is paid, expense should be debited, cash should be credited. That's all. So these are my expenses. So these 5 items to be debited. These 5 items to be debited, cash to be credited. That's all. Okay. And the other 2 items, the first one is outstanding salary. Outstanding is not yet paid. You didn't pay the salary, means the cash transaction is not done, not yet done. So it will not affect your cash account. So and it will not affect your any other ledger account like debtors, creditors, or the cash it will not affect. So we need not pass the journal entry. If that salary is affecting any of the ledger account that you are going to prepare, then you pass the journal entry. That's all. Okay. ಯಾವುದೇ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸಾಕ್ಷನ್ ನೀವು ಲೆಡ್ಜರ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಜರ್ನಲ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ you just ignore that item, you just record it in the trading and P&L account. That's all. The prepaid rent, it will not affect any ledger account, so we'll no need of passing the any journal entry. Depreciation of furniture by 10%, it will again recorded on the P&L account, and it will not affect my debtor, it will not affect my creditor, it will not affect my cash, because depreciation is a non-cash item. Actually cash ನಿಮ್ಮ pocket ಇಂದ ಹೋಗುದಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, there is no outflow of cash from you, it is just a non-cash item, so it will not affect my cash account. So the last three items, no need of passing journal entry. Okay, so this is the first illustration number 6. Okay, now we'll start with the ledger account. So first ledger account, that is cash account. We'll start with the cash account. So draw the lines. Cash account, particulars, amount in rupees. Okay, we'll start. So always start with the always start with the opening balance. Cash is an asset. Cash is an asset. So the opening balance will be debit balance. So right, to balance brought down 24,000. To balance brought down 24,000. To balance brought down 24,000. Okay, after that, the first transactions, you now just see those transactions where there is a cash account, where the journal entry consists of cash account. Okay, ಯಾವ journal entry ಅಲ್ಲಿ cash into ಅದು ಮಾತ್ರ ನೋಡಿ. The first one, receipt from debtor, you pass the journal entry, right? So you passed cash account debit to debtors account. So in cash account it is to debtors account. In cash account it is to debtors account. Okay, next one, paid to creditors. The journal entry is creditors account debit to cash. So in cash account it is by creditors account. By creditors account. Next one, total sale. In that, cash sale affect my cash account. The credit sale will affect my debtors account. So cash sale, you just see cash sale. The journal entry is cash account debit to sale. So in cash account it is to sales account, and only 38,000. Okay, the cash sale figure. Next one, total purchase. In that, only cash purchase. So purchase account debit to cash, that is the journal entry we passed. So in cash account it is by purchase account, because the cash purchase. Okay, next, sales return, purchase return. It will not affect my cash account. Drawings. So we pass the journal entry for drawings. So drawings account debit to cash. So in cash account it is by drawings account. By drawings account 20,000. Okay, next bad debts. It will affect my drawings. The debtors account, discount allowed again debtors account, discount received creditors account. Then we have five expenses. So you pass the journal entry. Okay, all the five expenses we debited and the cash account we credited. So in cash account you have to record all the expenses on the credit side. You just keep on recording the items. Okay, do it fast. You just record all the five items on the credit side of the cash account. Means buy side. So record it fast. Okay. So first one, that is by rent account 8,000, by wages account 3,000, by trade expenses account 2,000, by salary account 5,000, and by office expenses account 3,000. Okay. So these are the entries, transactions that are going to affect my cash account. Okay. Now you have to find the closing balance because they have given the opening balance and they are not given the closing balance. Correct. So they have given the opening balance. They have given the opening balance but they have not given the closing balance. So my balancing figure will be by balance carried down because we don't know what is the closing balance. We don't know the closing balance. So my balancing figure will be, it is by balance carried down. So write by balance carried down and within the bracket you write balancing figure. By balance carried down, within the bracket you write by balancing figure. Next you find the total of cash account. Okay, I give 2 minutes to calculate the total and the balancing figure. Now you have to calculate what is the closing cash balance. I give 2 minutes, just do it. Do it fast. So my total is 2,37,000 and the balancing figure is 83,000. So that is the closing cash balance. closing cash balance. Okay, so I end today's class till here. The remaining ledger account and the final accounts, that is trading P&L account and the balance sheet, we will see in the next class. Okay, thank you.